Hi my friends, this is Lance with BestKidSolutions.com, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a complete list of the very best exercises for kids. So let's get to it. If you're new to the channel, I'm an award-winning educator. I've been teaching for over 20 years. I am a proud father of two amazing young ladies. My wife is also an amazing mother, but she is also a special needs teacher, and both of my parents have been public school educators for over 40 years each. So as you can see, we've spent a lot of time helping the most important people in the world, in our opinion, of course, kids, parents, and teachers. So hopefully we'll give you some value in this video. We really wanted to talk about some exercises that are going to benefit kids. I taught third grade for years, but now I'm a PE teacher. I've taught PE for over 15 years now. And we wanted to come up with a list that's really going to be beneficial for kids. And the reason why that is because it's research has said that you can start children off at certain ages with weights, and it's not as detrimental as they once thought, but it's still important to come up with exercises that they can do safely and with not a lot of equipment, which is important when dealing with kids. Now, this is a shortened version. This video is going to be a shortened version of the longer article on BestKidSolutions.com. So if you would like the absolute complete list of the best exercise for kids, go ahead and go to BestKidSolutions.com / a complete list of the best exercises for kids. So let's get into it. The very first one we want to talk about is posture exercises. You know, there's a lot of different exercises that you can do, but some of the most important exercise the child can learn is how to help them straighten up their back, help the core muscles and the spine muscles so that when they're hunched over or looking at their text or their phone or hunched over the computer or playing video games, that they have the ability to do some exercises that are going to keep their spine and keep their posture correct. Now, a couple of these are going to be a prisoner squat. Now, the cool part about in this article is that each one of these exercises has a video example. So you're going to be able to see each of these exercises on the actual article itself, and YouTube is embedded in there, and so that you guys are going to be able to see each of these. But I'll give you a brief description. The prisoner squat, it sounds better than it actually, or it looks better than it sounds. This one is where you're actually doing a squat, but your hands are behind your back, and you're trying to keep that back straight, and you're strengthening your core and your spine muscles. And that's a great one for kids to learn. And of course, there's no added equipment along with that one. You have the Hercules pose. This is almost like a stretching one where you're bringing your arms back and you're strengthening those back muscles and once again the core muscles. And then you have the high plank. The high plank is very similar. It is a push-up without actually going down. You're just actually in the position of a starting push-up, and you're just holding those muscles there, and that really works almost every single muscle in your body, and that really is going to help their posture, and it's going to really help their core strength, because what you want to do is give them an exercise that's going to prevent injuries. And if you can do something like this, it's going to do a full body workout. It's not invasive at all, and it doesn't require any equipment, and that's a slam dunk when it comes to kids' exercises. The second one is just the basic push-up. This is something that, as a PE teacher, I see a lot of kids just can't do. I highly recommend that you start out with that high plank and just get them working those muscles, the stabilizer muscles, before they start doing push-ups, because many times they'll just have improper form and it won't be beneficial. And many times when you have improper form or you're using momentum in order to complete an exercise, that's how people hurt themselves. To start with the high plank, another bonus tip here that's also in the article is, maybe start with some wall push-ups. Get those muscles moving and definitely get them warmed up at the very least. But once a child is able to do a good form push-up, then they are on their way to really building the muscles that is going to help them in the long run. Obviously, all of the upper body, the shoulder, the back, the core muscles, And that's really what you want to be building, so that when they move on to higher level sports or other activities, they will be able to prevent injuries. And the third one is something that is also very important. And one of the things that we have really looked at when compiling this list is how to prevent injuries ahead of time. A lot of these injuries that occur are injuries that if they were able, at a young age, they were able to build these muscles, these core muscles, these muscles that are helping other muscles, they would be able to prevent injuries a lot better. And one of these is the shoulder rotator cuff. I mean, a lot of the throwing injuries when it comes to baseball or any type is just overuse. And one of the best ways to prevent overuse is, number one, is to not overuse it, but that's very difficult to do when a child wants to throw as many times as they can, or they have many different baseball games, they're on a traveling team, etc. Obviously, as a parent, you're going to want to really make sure that they are limiting and giving themselves some time to rest. But another way to do that as well is to strengthen some of these rotator cuff type exercises to build that area, so that if you do go a little bit farther than you'd like to, the child is protected. Once again, we highly recommend to giving a child the rest that they need, but building these stabilizer muscles is really what is going to help prevent injuries in the long run. A couple of them are going to be isometric internal rotations. These are exercises where you're going to try to keep your arm straight and you're going to be pulling against your own arm, trying to build those muscles using the isometric type style of exercise. You also have the I, the T, and the Y. These are exercises that mimic when you're laying on your belly. They mimic the letters, and it really kind of gives that isometric shoulder burn that you would get when you're building some of these stabilizer muscles. That's very important. And then if you have the ability to, you can also do some sort of rows using a resistance band. Resistance bands are great. They don't cost a lot. They're very, very inexpensive. And they're not very invasive. They're not going to hurt a child. So using these resistance bands really makes good sense. And you can do rows just on the ground using that resistance band. And that would really help those stabilizer muscles and those rotator cuff muscles, so that they are protected after, overuse, or in this case, just everyday using of the shoulder muscles, which, as you can imagine, one of the most used muscles, other than, of course, the leg muscles, is going to be the shoulder muscle. And many times that has the highest prevalence of injury is, of course, going to be the leg and the shoulder muscles. So being able to prevent that from happening by giving them, like I said, building those stabilizer muscles in the rotator cuff, in the posture exercises, in being able to work on the upper body as well as the lower body with the push-ups, that really is going to be a great help to your child. As I said before, my friends, the full list, including squats and some of these other adaptations for children, are going to be in the list or in the article. So please go ahead and go to bestkidsolutions.com and get that full article. We hope that you found this interesting and helpful. Before you go, please go ahead and go to one of our other articles, which I believe, or in this case, videos, which I believe you'll be very helpful to you. Or please, if you found some value, please subscribe. We are dedicated to helping the most important people on this planet. And as I said before, we've spent a lot of time doing so, and we really want this video series to do so. So if you want to see some more videos on helping this great group of people, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. My friends, I hope you enjoyed this, and we will see you in the next video.